Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for May 8th. We are looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This pair closed down during this last session, moving sideways overall. Looking for it to potentially go as high as 80.39, possibly as low as 79.40. Look for some resistance around 80.15 and look for some support around 76.63. Now the Euro-USD pair, this pair closed down during this last session. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 131.19, possibly as low as 128.96. Look for some resistance around 130.75 and look for some support around 129.50. Now the pound US dollar pair moved sideways as well during this last session, closed down a little bit. Look for it to potentially go as high as 162.50, possibly as low as 160.70. Look for some resistance around 162.00 and look for some support around 161.10. Now the US Swiss, this pair closed up during this last session. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9292, possibly as low as 0.9153. Look for some resistance around 0.9250 and look for some support around 0.9195. Now, as far as news analysis go, we have the Australian dollar releasing their employment change. It's a little bit later in the day, though. It's at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Consensus on that is that employment has dropped from 44.0K to a negative 50K. Unemployment's being released as well. They're showing a slight increase from 5.2% to 5.3%. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, if you go to the New Zealand US dollar pair and zoom back out a little ways, you will see that this pair has been moving sideways for a good while. If you draw a trend line from this low to this low right here for a trend line, you can see where it cuts through. You can see that it has cut through that area. Now you could draw technically another trend line from here through the bottom of the lows in this area as well. Both cut through a fairly small area. Let me zoom in on that, kind of show you what we're looking at. So both of these trend lines are across two time periods, which is always good to see, across multiple price points as well. So that's good to see also. Let me throw on Trend Finder. This is our proprietary trend strategy. You can see here we have our Trend Finder has identified the bars where you should be selling short, identifies that by a red arrow, prints on the screen. You can see that let's say you took after the close of the bar, you wouldn't necessarily have to, just look for an arrow, but let's say you waited till the close and you didn't want to use our stop loss here at 185 pips, you wanted to use 240 above here at the previous area of resistance, and then look to grab 240 to the downside. Currently, you'd be up about 135 pips. Definitely time to go to break even at that point, or you could at least move it in from there. 140 or 240 would be down even a little bit further. Be all the way down to right about this point, down around 0.7750 mark. So it has a little bit of ways to go, but let me zoom back out and kind of take a look at what this looks like from a technical standpoint. You have sideways action. It breaks through a trend line to the downside. Long-term trend lines broken as well. At that point, we get a trend finder arrows that tell us it's time to go short, and at that point, profit is made essentially. Well, I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.